Hi everyone, it's Evangeline here at etrailer, and today we have the Swagman XTC2 TILT Bike Rack, and we're going to take a look at how it fits our 2023 Toyota Camry. Now, the XTC2 is similar to the Swagman XC2. That's going to be a very popular bike rack because of how it offers your basic platform features without charging the extra premium price. So if you're looking for an entry-level platform rack where you get some stability that you would not get with a hanging rack, then this might be an option for you. Now the XTC2 Tilt has the extra tilt away feature that we'll also take a look at. So here, in order for this bike rack to tilt, there's a pin and a clip. The pin and the clip sits down here, so you're gonna have to pull that clip in order to pull out that pin. You can let that hang because all you need to do is stand up, then pull the bike rack down, and it comes down to a tilt. This has a 35-pound weight capacity per bike, so you're not tilting a lot of the weight away. This allows you to get into your trunk and grab whatever you need. You can even hang out here and switch out your shoes if you want to, all without having to take your bikes off. Closing this trunk again, we're gonna bring this back up into place and put the pin and clip back. Now, compared to other more premium racks, this is a little bit more of a process you're gonna have to do, especially since lining up that pin can be a little tricky sometimes. So that is something to be mindful of. If you're looking for a just solid bike rack that's still slightly affordable, that can also tilt away, check out something like the Sarah Super Clamp EX as an alternative. That one has more of a weight capacity versus this, but you also don't have the same lightness of a bike rack that this one has. The way this holds down your bike is you have 3 touch points. 1 and 2 are gonna be your wheel straps. The third is gonna be this frame mount. So to take the bike off, we're gonna go over to the wheel straps. This uses a rubber strap, so I'm gonna pull it so it pops out of its tab. Then I'm gonna leave it over to this side so that that strap does not get caught up in the spokes. So grab the strap, pop it out of the tab, and then leave it over to the side. Coming up to center, we're gonna hold on to our bike as we press this and lift up on the hook. Now you have different options here. Some people, they just bring our bike rack over closer to the car to get out of the way of that hook so that they can take the bike off. I like to take the couple extra seconds to completely remove the hook, and then you can lift it up and over the mast. And if you really want to, you can also pull this pin and drop this mast away from your pedals, and then it's only a slight lift and you're ready to go for a ride. So different options for depending on the size of your bikes and how much effort you want to put into taking it apart. Now let's take a look over at those wheel hoops. This utilizes all metal hoops in order to secure those tires. The maximum tire size though is going to be up to 2.5 inch wide tires. That's because these are super narrow hoops. You can purchase a separate style though, and those are gonna be for your fat bikes, available here at etrailer.com. With this being used though, what I like to do is you can adjust these hoops back and forth for those different wheelbases, and the maximum wheelbase is gonna be up to 52 inches, but it's figuring out how both bikes fit on the rack that may get a little tricky. Now, when I drive around, I like to keep this mast in the down position. That way it just takes up less space, and I have a more compact look behind the vehicle. So speaking of less space, let's talk about measurements. Measuring from the bumper to the end of the rack, that sits at 22 inches of space. Fortunately, your Camry is already a smaller car, so you have a lot of space to work with if you have a small garage or need to park into a tight spot. The next measurement is ground clearance. So the end of the rack to the ground is 14 inches. Compare that to the shank to the ground, and that's going to be about 8.5 inches. So there is a shank rise to give you more ground clearance for those steep inclines like driveways or hills, but this will also show you how far you have to lift your bikes up to get them onto the rack. Now, this is going to be pretty much the most compatible position you're going to have it in. Technically, you can fold these side trays up, but that's more for if you're storing it inside your garage or inside your house or apartment, and that way it doesn't take up much room. But with it down like this, notice how you have pretty much full visibility back here. You can see through your rear window, your tail lights, your license plate, and your backup camera are all visible. So it's kind of like you don't have a bike rack behind you other than the length it adds to the back of your car. Because of this, it is very popular for people that have apartments or sheds or very limited storage areas, because then they can still carry around their bikes whenever they need to, but they're not sacrificing on space. So with all that being said, if you are interested for a minimalist bike rack, this might be an option to go to, or the Swagman XC2, which is popular with the Camry, and that fits into your 1.25" hitch receiver. You may also want to take a look at something like the Sarah Super Clamp as an alternative if you want a bit more weight capacity and a bit more premium features and premium looks. But right here, right now, this was a look at the Swagman XTC2 TILT on the 2023 Toyota Camry.